Hello and welcome back to the John and Adrian podcast. A lot of sports happened, John. I think I'm going to start off with the Raiders situation first, but we also have the Antonio Brown situation and Dez Bryant to some degree and some other stuff going on before we talk about the Philly game and then our pick'ems. But
yeah,
the Raiders situation is interesting, or at least I think it's interesting. Okay. The entire Raiders starting offensive line got the COVID. All right. So they all got sent home and are placed on the COVID reserve list. But not only their entire starting offensive line, but also Jonathan Abrams, which is their starting safety, got the COVID. So yeah, the Raiders are not in a good place. And then also who are they supposed to play? The
Buccaneers.
So that game got pushed back. So
It's still supposed to happen Sunday, I think.
Yeah.
Which I think is weird. Like, you find out everyone got COVID and
your starting offensive line got COVID. Like, every single player on their starting offensive line got the COVID.
They're only pushing it back
like an hour or two.
Something like that.
Or did they push it? Did they push it later?
10 and now they're playing at, I think, 5.
Yeah. They're the report I'm reading, it's Eastern time, and they said it's a 1 o'clock game now.
Yeah, so that's what 11, 12. Yeah, it's a 3-hour pushback. Like,
just so they can find replacement offensive linemen, John. That's duh.
That's how long it takes to cure COVID.
Yeah. No. So this one, I don't know, because I know the Raiders. They're starting like right guard or something already got hurt earlier in the season, so he was already out. So they're playing with a backup right guard, but he's technically
let's go.
Yeah, he's technically their starter, so he got the COVID now. And so the Raiders, if this game goes through, which the NFL can't really afford to scramble the schedule again because they've already scrambled it, right?
Because we aren't. I don't know if we're going to talk about it, but the Seahawks game also got pushed back. I think it was set to happen at 1.
Right.
It's not happening at 5. I don't know if that happened because the Raiders game got pushed back. So
probably
they wanted to push it back so that way it's like not 3 games or 4 games happen, or no, 5. Yeah, they didn't want to have 5 games happening at 1 o'clock.
Which, from my understanding, the Seahawks don't have, or the Cardinals or the Seahawks don't have anyone that's like COVID, right?
Okay, then yeah, that's probably it. Then.
Yeah.
Just timing and TV.
They wanted to get their TV stuff situated, which that's fine, I guess. But the Seahawks and Cardinals are fine.
Probably taking the place of the airtime the Seahawks game would have gotten, since those are West Coast teams. Like, we'll just play the Raiders West Coast. The Buccaneers instead of the Seahawks, and then they push the Seahawks back.
Yeah, but the Raiders, that's a terrible situation to be in because like it's like your starting offensive line. Like you can't replace that realistically. Right?
Let's go look at these free agents.
Well, I bet you can, but it's like if you do bring someone in, it's like you're gonna be stuck playing like the most basic of runs, right? You can't do anything fancy. You're gonna have to be in like pass protect, which everybody should know how to pass protect. But like, there's a big difference.
Free agent.
Well, this is a thought I've had. Like if you were to strip every NFL team down to their second string, but like keep one like starter on your roster, my head always goes to you keep the one like your bet, like Aaron Donald. You keep Aaron Donald, but then you let everybody else go down to second string, right? Because second string offensive line are worse than first string, and it's gonna take like 5 the whole offensive line to take down Aaron Donald, right? So it's like I feel like that's even. The Bucs have a good defensive line, or they have above average defensive line. So I feel like they're going to have a field day. And I don't know about you, but if this game does happen later on in the pick'ems, I'm picking the Bucs. But let's talk about this Antonio Brown situation. Antonio Brown is set to come back after week 8 because he got suspended. So he served out his 8-week suspension, and now teams are vying for Antonio Brown, which there's this big hullabaloo in fantasy of like signing Antonio Brown. He's like one of the top like waiver wire pickups
and new added players,
right? And I don't see the hype personally because like
he's not even listed as an eligible free agent on the NFL's website.
Right, but it's like the Seahawks I hear are like one of the top contenders to land Antonio Brown, right? And me logistically thinking about it, like fantasy wise, he'd be like the number 3 wide receiver on that team.
Yeah,
they have
the third option on that team for sure. They have DK and Tyler. Even then, I mean, they tried the same thing with Josh Gordon, and it didn't really work out.
It worked a little bit. I don't know. Is he still on that roster?
No.
Oh, okay. Or did he? No, did he get suspended again?
I'm pretty sure he got just suspended again. That's why it didn't work out.
Right. Which the hope is
the Flash. Oh no, he's still on the Seahawks roster, but
he's just not making a. Oh, okay. But yeah, so I guess maybe if he does get picked up by a team, you wait and see what he does. It depends on what team he gets picked up, right? Like
if let's say the Seahawks do pick him up, then everyone's gonna be like, oh my god, Antonio Brown's gonna come back and be amazing again. Josh Gordon's gonna come back and play like he did in 2014, and then they're gonna have DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, and they're gonna have the best receiving core in the NFL. Oh my goodness.
Which that only hurts the other wide receivers on that roster. Like DK can't drop 5 or he's been like what? He's got a 2 touchdown game.
Every receiver's gonna drop 3 touchdowns every game, 100 yards. Russ is gonna get MVP finally because he's gonna have 400 yards and 12 touchdowns a game.
Right, like that's not feasible. So let's say realistically, Russ can get 500 yards if the Seahawks rely more on the pass, right? And maybe like 4 touchdowns.
Oh, that's gonna screw over the running back market, though. I'm gonna have to drop Chris Carson.
Right, like no matter how this like plays out, it screws over either the rest of the receiving core or the Seahawks running backs. Like, yeah, it's not gonna be pretty, and it's gonna be a toss up of like what they do. Another wide receiver that's coming back, John, Des Bryant. He's on the Ravens practice squad. All right, practice squad is just one step below on the final roster. All right. All that he needs is a Ravens wide receiver to get hurt, and he's back. All right.
Who do the Ravens have? They have Marquise Brown. They have.
See, I'm thinking.
Who else?
I'm thinking putting him on the practice squad is a way that they can, because I'm pretty sure right now with like the way COVID rules are set up, they can't have players like come in and work out. So like maybe signing him to the practice squad is like a way of having him like work out and like show what he has.
Like, we don't want you to go we want you on the team, but we need
to see it
time period
right.
That makes sense.
Right. We want the tryout, but we feasibly can't give you a tryout unless you're on the practice squad, which, I mean, that's good.
Yeah.
That's how good. But another move that the Ravens made is they traded for, what's his name? The old Vikings DN, or Yaguakwe.
Yannick Ngakoue?
Yeah, they traded for him.
He's not old.
Or he's there. I'm talking about like he was on the Vikings.
The Jaguars.
Yeah, he used to be on the Jaguars. He got traded to the Vikings, and now he's on the Ravens. The Ravens traded a third and a fifth for him, which is basically what the Vikings traded for him. Which I think the Vikings are on like
tank
fire.
Mode.
Yeah, tank mode. They're 100% tank mode. They're just trying to
Poor Yannick, though. I mean, he left one team that was tanking to go straight to another team that was tanking.
At the beginning of the year, if you would have told me at the beginning of the year this is a tank year for the Vikings, I would have been like, no.
I would have said you're crazy.
Yeah, I was like, no, why? That's stupid.
Did Stephon Diggs hurt them that bad by leaving? Really?
No, it's not a tank year. You're stupid. They might not get like 12 wins, but it's not a tank year.
Which I think is crazy because Dalvin Cook, I think he's the second running back in terms of
around,
right now,
yeah.
Which obviously doesn't mean anything, but
I think he's the second leading rusher.
Like production, right?
Right. Yeah, and then you want to talk about production? I think Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, and then Boyd are the top receiver, running back, and cornerback in terms of like rushing yards, passing yards, and receiving yards in the AFC North.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay,
they're leading their division.
That makes sense though, because like Lamar Jackson would be the only one who maybe would be beating out Joe Mixon in terms of rushing yards, and then Big Ben and Baker aren't going to be beating out Joe Burrow. With how much they're relying on him, and then because of that, I don't see Juju, or I could see Juju.
Well, Juju this year hasn't had a 70-yard game or led the Steelers in receiving what's it called? What's it called when pass attempts? Pass attempts.
Oh, pass.
Like
Or reception.
Targets. There we go. That's the right word. That's the right word. He hasn't led his team in targets. Receive, like, he hasn't had a 70-yard game yet, and he hasn't led his team in targets in any game. So he's not. So it's a down year.
Jordan, the Steelers fan, told me that they are treating him like he's a true number one receiver. Like, they are doubling and tripling him. The other defenses are.
Right.
Which is probably why Claypool's been doing so well.
Yeah, recently. Which, granted, he is the best receiver on that roster.
For sure.
But, like, obviously, if you say, oh, well, Claypool is balling out, well, of course. If he doesn't ball out, then someone else will, right? Like, if you're tripling one guy, then the second guy should be doing great.
Which I think is a sign of how good defensive coordinators think Juju is. Like,
right.
He kind of viewed as like this subpar number one. Like, he's a number one, but he's not, Stephon Diggs number one. Or
he's not like Jones, top 10 wide receiver in the league.
Yeah. But if you throw in the fact that, well, he's being triple teamed every play, like teams are making sure that he doesn't statistically make the top 10, then it puts in an argument of his team impact could be top 10.
Right. Is there any other big boy news out there? You got the trades. Zach Ertz is dead. I don't think that's big news.
I have a question.
What?
So Antonio Brown's now free. Who do you think gets signed first, Antonio Brown or Earl Thomas?
Earl Thomas. Oh, Antonio Brown for sure.
Really?
Yeah, because Earl Thomas hasn't been suspended, right? He's been available. Right. He's been available since week 1. Antonio Brown, the reason he's not on a roster right now is because he's been suspended.
He was suspended. You can still sign players if they're suspended, right? They just can't play.
Yeah, I think you're right. Actually, yeah. I think also he had
time to lock him up. I thought, and they just were choosing not to.
Right.
And he's been a free agent much longer than Earl Thomas has.
Yeah, but I think I still think Antonio Brown is more likely to get picked up, mainly because like teams might see it, like might need a receiver more than a safety, right? Because like you pick up a receiver, you're not really replacing anybody else. It's just you're picking up an extra receiver. As in safety, you're choosing Earl Thomas over the guy you have in, right? So it's kind of more like are you happy with what you got in-house, or do you want to go looking for a little bit more?
Thomas is a guy that's going to get signed when someone gets injured.
Right. Like he's not, because then you stunt the development of your younger safety or like your other safety. And then, but like as in Antonio Brown, you could like spin it as like, well, he's coming in to teach the young guys. He's going to come in every couple plays. He's not really like taking your spot. Right.
Yeah. I guess Antonio Brown worked out with Russell Wilson over the summer, so now Russell Wilson wants him on the Seahawks.
Right. Right.
Wow.
All right. Do you want to talk about the epic tank bowl that took place today?
I don't know what you're talking about. This was for the division, bro.
You could spin this either way. The Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know, why did we pick the Giants? I don't know. Like
I picked the Giants because historically the away team in this division wins. The Cowboys tend to beat the away team. I think last week the Giants were the home team and they won. Yeah, we said the Redskins that week, but historically the away team tends to do better in this division, which is weird. It's like the other teams just have such a good lock on each other that like they flip home fields. It's so crazy.
And there's not really a home field this year though.
Yeah, they're not. That's something.
Actually, no. I think where was this?
This was
Philadelphia. They might have had a couple fans. I don't remember.
I don't know. Did we watch the highlight reel again?
Let's see. Was there anybody in the background? I don't know, but the massive play from this game is, well, obviously the Eagles came back and won it in the fourth quarter, but the big time play that's like sitting at the top of my head is the Daniel Jones like 40-50 yard run that he just tripped on. So like he had like a clear like shot to the end zone, right? Like he's obviously has like a 10-yard lead on everybody, like all the defenders around him.
Yeah.
And he trips at the 20. And it just falls, Like the turf monster got him. And I'm like, wow. I don't even know if they scored on that drive after that. They might have got it in field goal.
It didn't matter.
It didn't. Yeah. So this is a tank bowl, and the 2-4-1 Philadelphia Eagles now lead the NFC East. This is awesome. We're
going to talk about this division again because the Cowboys Redskins play this week.
Oh,
so when
they
we get
do.
To that game, that'll be a good discussion.
That will. Is there like? I don't know. Like, is there? The Eagles, half the Eagles roster is dead. The Giants
They're still winning games. Imagine if they were healthy. Bro.
Imagine if they were healthy.
Eagles fans be like, bro, we'd be the best team in the league.
Right. Is the Giants head coach a brand new head coach, or has he been there?
Joe Judge.
Okay, so he's probably not going to get fired this year.
No.
They probably expect it.
When he got hired last year, he says this is a big project. He's like, we need to go through the entire organization from down and just reevaluate everything. So he made it sound like this is a 3 to 5 year plan to just have potential, like not to get good. Like 5 years we won't be good. 5 years will look like we're getting good.
Right. Which honestly, they have Saquon, and if Saquon stays healthy, that'll be good. Jones looks good. Right.
It looks good, but it's hard to tell because everyone's hurt. So it's like he's not playing with the starters all the time.
And he's playing with like the 5th string wide receiver, and it's like
leading the team in rushing right now. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of rough to tell. It's the same thing with like Fitzmagic led the Dolphins last year in rushing, right? Oh, that reminded me of something, John. Fitzmagic lost his starting job going into the bye week. The Dolphins, it's their bye week this week, and starting week 8 against against the Rams, we're gonna see Tua.
So this is my problem that I had, because this was a possibility we talked about at the end of the last game because Tua came in, and I said no, they shouldn't, because they play the Rams. Their next game is the Rams,
which is Aaron Donald.
The season they play the Chiefs, then the Patriots, then the Raiders, then the Bills, and I go, those probably aren't teams. Like, if you're worried about him injury wise, then those last 4 games you don't want to play.
Right.
But now they said, the last 10 games of the season, he's playing.
He's starting.
I don't know, man.
He's starting. He's not just playing.
Yeah,
he's starting.
Especially when Ryan Fitzpatrick was playing like a legitimate starter. Like,
right.
I think when he was
like
on the
10
Jets,
touchdowns, 7 interceptions.
He was playing this good, and I think they made the play, or maybe they were a game away from making the playoffs that year.
Right. No, it's
I mean, I don't think the Dolphins are going to make the playoffs whether they play Tua or.
So I think the plan was that Fitzmagic was always going to be the mentor for Tua, right? And I'm assuming that from the beginning they looked at their bye week and went, all right, Tua is going to start after that point. But like, I think the trade deadline isn't this week, but it's like the beginning of next week, like Tuesday or Wednesday. It's the 29th. I don't know when the 29th is exactly, but do you think Ryan Fitzpatrick asks for a trade, or do you think he stays there? Because that's another possibility, right?
I think you have to look at what team would take him. I think if the Niners aren't happy with Jimmy Garoppolo, they're the only other team that might take Fitzpatrick, because everyone else who doesn't have a quarterback is looking at Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields. They're not looking to get Fitzpatrick for the rest of the season to get him to 6-10 and not be able to draft Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields, right? So I don't think he would get traded.
I still think he would want to stay as a mentor, because I'm pretty sure that's the only reason he stayed on the Dolphins, is like he fully accepted the fact that he's the mentor of Tua.
Alex Smith, and next season when Tua wins MVP, be like, I did that.
Yeah, that's me. I get the ring even though I'm no longer in Miami, right? Because Alex Smith got Super Bowl 54, 55, whatever it is, ring because he mentored Patrick Mahomes. So Tua starting, I think, well, Aaron Donald is going to test how healthy Tua is, because I think the third or fourth play that Alex Smith was back for the Washington team, he jumped on his back and tested that leg of Alex. So I'm pretty sure Aaron's going to test Tua's legs, if anything else.
Do the Dolphins have a good offensive line?
I think they're above average. I'm not sure.
Above average?
I haven't.
That means 16 or better.
Right. And I mean, I don't know. I haven't heard anything bad about it. They've been playing pretty good. Granted, I think the Dolphins' schedule has been relatively easy, like in regards of like defensive lines. Right. They played the Patriots, the Seahawks, but they don't have that strong of a defensive line. They played
the Bills.
The 49ers
think had a good D line, but
they played the 49ers like C team defensive line.
Yeah.
So I guess they haven't really had a true test.
Line.
I guess
it's like if you look 2 years ago, every defensive line they've played has been like in the top 10, right? The Patriots were great, the Bills were great, the Jaguars were probably number 1.
Right.
The Seahawks had good pass rushers. The Niners, I mean, that 2 years ago would have been the year before Nick Bosa, but they were still a good defensive line. They were just a bad team. So yeah,
the Jets still. The Jets would have still been bad, but you can't really change that.
Yeah, they would have had Leonard Williams. That's it. They would have Leonard Williams instead of Quinnen Williams.
No, what is it? Yeah, I guess the Rams are the first true test of a defensive line, but
and even then, it's just Aaron Donald.
Right. Which Aaron Donald takes up 3 offensive linemen to block him. Like,
they're going to put 2, and they're going to have Jordan Howard cut him, and he'll be out for the rest of the season, and it'll be okay.
It'll be okay.
You can't kill Tua. We killed you first.
Right. So, I guess we kind of skimmed over the fact. Well, we mentioned it, but Ngakoue to the Ravens got better for really nothing. It was a 3rd round pick that they gave up for him. Mm-hmm. That's really good on the Ravens' part. It's kind of
scared. I thought they were gonna have to give up Tracy, so
or maybe that would have been devastating for the Ravens. Their whole franchise would just be done for.
Yannick for Tracy straight up, no picks. The Vikings need a quarterback.
No, like the Ravens, like this is the Chiefs situation all over again, because remember, like the beginning of the offseason, both you and me individually, 2 broke college kids, had more money in our bank accounts than the entire Chiefs organization had. Yeah, so it's like right, like they had $10, and like how have they managed to sign Patrick Mahomes to $500 million, given Travis Kelce like a 6-year extension, Jones, they've got Le'Veon Bell, right? It's like,
oh yeah, they did sign Bell. I forgot. Yeah, they're majorly backloading these contracts.
Which I think
Bell's is only 1 year, so they must have renegotiated. Some other people's like, hey, we want to sign him. You willing to take this money later?
Which I honestly, I think Bell's situation is different though, because I think the Jets are paying for it. Or I think his contract is like
still paying for him.
Right. So I think they got lucky in that sense.
Probably really heavily incentive.
Or maybe like
they're only going to pay him $24.
The vet minimum, right? Like the vet minimum, they might be paying him, but Bell still gets his money from the Jets. It's weird. I don't know. I don't know how they have money. In 10 years or something, we're going to find out that like the Chiefs GM is doing
by like 4 of their different players. Like, you owe me millions of dollars.
Right. Right now it's working, but give it like 5-10 years and something's going to blow up, and we're going to be going through this massive scandal. Probably. Who knows? Okay. Do you want to do some pick'ems, or is there any like news that's like, you want to?
No, we can move on to the pick'em.
Okay.
First up, we have Carolina against the Saints. Last week was the Panthers' first loss without
Christian McCaffrey.
So now I don't know who to pick.
Yeah, I feel devastated. I don't think Christian McCaffrey's coming back for this game, but he's definitely coming back for next game, I've heard. Or actually, is it their bye week next week, or is it after? No, never mind. Yeah, I heard Christian McCaffrey's coming back for the Falcons. So
This doesn't make sense. This headline says the Panthers are favored underdogs against the Saints.
But if they're
If you're
underdogs,
favored-
you're not an underdog if you're favored. That's not how that works.
I'm supposed to lose, but everyone thinks I'm gonna win. What?
No. To talk about an underdog, I can't even think right now. It's the Heat.
9 hours ago, Saints receiver Michael Thomas suffered hamstring injury in practice.
No, he was set to play, wasn't he?
I don't know. This says 9 hours ago. Let me look on fantasy. It's just questionable.
He didn't play today. He was limited Wednesday, which we don't really know. I mean, he hasn't played. We should just assume. Yeah.
And I don't know. I would rather the Saints or the Panthers win because
that would make that division more interesting.
Robbie Anderson starting in fantasy this week. I mean, yeah, it'd make the division more interesting. I want to.
Actually, no. The Saints and the Panthers are like neck and neck. The Bills.
Yeah, the Saints are ahead by
half a game. Yeah,
it's because they've played one less game.
Technically, right.
I'm gonna take the Panthers. I'm gonna say it. Although I will say the Panthers are the one team that the Saints consistently beat.
Right.
So I don't know.
Has Teddy Bridgewater been?
The Saints beat him 3 years or something straight.
How badly
did
they lose?
5 games straight or something stupid like that.
Right. How badly did the Panthers get beat last week? Or did they not play last week? Was it the week before?
They played last week. They didn't get beat that badly, I don't think.
Oh, it was against the Bears. Oh, it was against the Bears. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, this makes it harder because I think the Bears are the worst 5-1 team. Like honestly, they could go 15-1, and there's still this gut feeling of like they're the worst 15
eventually.
They're the worst 15-1 team that there's ever been. Like I don't understand how they keep winning games.
They could win the Super Bowl and we'd be like, that's the worst Super Bowl roster I've ever seen.
Like how is this possible? This makes zero sense.
Bulls is magic. That's all it is.
Jesus.
I don't know. The Panthers, they've got some good wins. They beat Justin Herbert. They beat the Cardinals, who are back and forth.
Right. It's very hard to decide what the Cardinals are, if the Cardinals are good or not.
Falcons didn't score points on them.
That's right. That's right.
So I don't know. I think the way I'm gonna look at it is the next time they play the Saints is week 17.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think they beat the Saints then?
Depends on the division.
I think
if the Saints have like their position locked in the playoffs, they win.
I don't think they will, and I think by then Michael Thomas will be back, and I don't think the Panthers beat him with Michael Thomas, so I'm gonna say the Panthers beat him now.
Do they beat him at all this year? That's my question.
That's the other question. I'm gonna go safe and say they split. That's typically what divisions do, but there are a few cases like this where it's like, yeah, we just sweep them every year. Sorry. Or basically everyone in the Vikings division sweeps the Vikings every year.
Right.
Vikings are just that
bad. They're doo-doo. They're doo-doo cheeks. Well, also Kirk Cousins doesn't know how to play in big time games. It's weird.
You can't win.
I have to say the Saints. My gut is telling me the Saints, and I don't know. Like, there's genuinely no logic behind that. It's just like
my gut's telling me to say the Saints too, but I'm just like,
shut up.
I would rather see the Panthers go 4-3 than the Saints go 4-2.
Right. Okay. Bills Jets. You know what? Let's talk about maybe the the Jets flip a switch this game, right?
No,
it's a New York versus New York rivalry, and maybe they just decide that they're the better New York team that day. No, you're not going to play into this at all?
No, This is not happening. I don't see the Jets. I honestly don't see them winning a game. Like they might beat the Dolphins if Tua just sucks.
Right.
I don't see them.
No, if Tua sucks, the Fitzmagic will probably be back in by then.
But then the magic's gone. That's what the
that is true. That's
so
true. Once you take him out, the magic disappears. Yeah.
The magic's gone. The Dolphins ruined it.
That's right.
I'm taking the Bills this game.
Okay. Just the Bills. I picked up the Bills defense. All right. I can't not root for the Bills here.
Watch this be the one game the Jets do win.
Like they blow out the Bills. Like the Bills have just been like like defeated after their last two losses.
4-0, then they're gonna go 0-4.
Yeah, they're gonna go 4-4. This is just gonna be like pure depression.
They play the Patriots next week, so that could happen if they lose this.
Right, they just go full depression mode and just don't know what they're doing anymore. It's like Josh Allen was the MVP, and now we don't know. I think we have to draft Trevor Lawrence now. Like, what is happening?
We should have drafted Tracy McSorley.
So yeah, Bills. Oh, Browns, Bengals. This one's harder than it should be because the Bengals are 1-4 or 1. They're
1-4
and 1.
The last time these two teams played, they were both 0-1, and
the Browns barely won
35-30.
The Bengals get the Browns this time.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened.
I want it to happen. And it is in Cincinnati, so yeah, I'll say that. I'll give it to the Bengals.
The Bengals have been getting better. They've been playing good football.
AJ Green finally pops off this game.
Did he? Yeah. Oh, no, did he have a hizzy fit last week, or was that 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, that was last week.
Okay, so this is
allegedly.
No, yeah. Allegedly.
Hizzy fit.
Allegedly.
But even then, I don't think he said trade me, because I think he said, why would you throw that? And that doesn't saying trade me after that doesn't make sense to me.
Okay.
So I don't know.
All right. Cowboys versus the Washington football team, which, fun fact, John, Dak Prescott still leads the league in passing yards.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So an honorable mention MVP?
Yeah, no, it's weird because he got hurt, 2 weeks ago, and he still leads the league in passing yards? That's crazy. Like, the Cowboys had to pull off some good offense just to go.
Covering it. Yesterday, they released an article saying a 4-win NFC East champ, how it could happen.
It's going to happen. It's like, if you look at the Cowboys have to score, right? They have to score 40 points a game just to try to win a game, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, this is the crazy thing. If the Cowboys win this week and they win next week,
they win their division
out, and then everyone else in the division loses out, I'm pretty sure they win.
Right. Because
maybe they'll split because they beat the Jets. They might have to win one more game because they play the Redskins, the Eagles. They play all three teams again.
Right.
So they might have to win one more game.
No, but they've already beaten them.
Oh yeah, and they've already got 2 wins, which is more than. You're right. If they win the next.
Because
they could win.
Because they'd have 4, and the Eagles would only have like 3 or 2.
4-12.
Yes, victory. Yeah, they just have to have Ezekiel Elliott on life support for at least 2 more weeks because he's not doing great, like, at all. You'd think, actually, no, because I think Ezekiel Elliott, like, defenses are covering Ezekiel Elliott, right? They're playing the run game against Dallas, and Dallas with Andy Dalton, and the reason that, like, Dak had so many passing yards is because if they didn't have that many passing yards and do that much passing, they'd be losing games, which they were losing games because they just can't keep up with what their defense, historically a terrible defense. I think they're on pace to be the worst defense, like, point differential wise. Actually, to give up the most amount of points in NFL history. I think that's what their defense is on pace for.
Ouch.
Which is bad. Very bad.
I still don't like Kyle Allen is the starting quarterback.
He is the starting Kyle
Smith, and I want him to.
Which Riverboat? This you know what I will say the Cowboys. Like, I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if Washington wins this game. Like,
they're projected to win. I think
the Cowboys are.
Looking at their defensive line, like looking at their front 7, they will demolish.
Zeke.
Like, if any team stops Zeke, it's this team for sure.
Right.
And right now, if that's all they have, and their secondary isn't that bad. They have Ronald Darby, Kendall Fuller, and Landon Collins. I think they're about middle of the pack right now in terms of pass defense. I'm not sure though.
Right.
So they're not.
It's not a bad defensive line, no, at all. Yeah, the offense, like, this team, like, the Washington team could be a good team, and they probably will be if they probably could have been if one, what's his name, Dwayne Haskins panned out, right? Ron Rivera wasn't getting treated for cancer, right? Like, if he wasn't, like, worried about dying or not, He probably have a little bit more time to focus on like game planning, which honestly, I don't know why he doesn't just take the year off. Like, just like relax, dude. Like
he's the one coach that's like, has a legitimate excuse. Like, let me take the year off.
Like, you're fighting cancer. Just go home. Like, just relax. We're in the middle of a pandemic. You could die if one of your players cough on you. You're dead.
Remember, okay, unless you're dead, you go out on the field every day. You put those pads on. Coaching is no different.
Like, genuinely, if like one player on his roster coughs on him and they have COVID, that boy dead. Like, his body is like, it must not be feeling good.
Embodiment of like, I'll rest when I'm dead.
Right. Like, and like we even saw it last week where he's like, I don't care. I'm here to win or lose. I'm not playing for a tie. Right. Like he went for that 2-point conversion because he don't care. He's going to die in a week. Like,
this isn't permanent. I'm an interim coach. I want to see the best possible outcome.
Right. So I'm going Cowboys. Is like, it hurts.
I'm gonna go Washington. I like these ballsy Ron Rivera moves.
Yeah, you just want to catch up. I think I'm only one game ahead.
You're 2. It's
Am I 2?
60 right now. But I'm not convinced about my Carolina pick, so I could.
Well, no, we both picked Carolina. Oh, cancel each other out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I could just no. Yeah, you're right. Those 2 games. No, the Saints. I have faith in the Saints, but this game is 100% a toss up. 100%. There's like really no one way or another.
If Alex Smith was starting, I would be for sure picking the Redskins. Kyle Allen makes it a toss up. But I'm still gonna go Redskins.
I don't know. I don't know why he likes Kyle Allen so much. I don't understand.
He used to be on his team.
Yeah, I know. He used to be on the Panthers, but like even then, he wasn't that great. I'm pretty sure he got benched for Will Ferrell.
No, I mean, I think he did get benched for Will Grier, and Will Grier did
bad.
So much worse.
Yeah, I feel bad for Will Grier. Like, I liked him coming out of college. I was like, he's gonna do great, and he's just not.
I didn't like him coming out of college because you know how everyone always says, "Oh, this quarterback has a big arm. He can sling it down the field." Like they say the same thing.
Right. Every single quarterback they say the same thing.
Those things like you couldn't say the basics about Will Grier. The opposite was you were talking about his technique and how his decision making. Like he hit his peak because he didn't have the athletic ability that the other quarterbacks did.
I just liked him as a quarterback.
Cool quarterback.
Yeah,
I didn't think he was gonna pan out.
Like Gardner Minshew in college and whatnot coming out. I was like, I like him. He's a cool guy. I didn't expect him to be good or like be in contention for a starting job, right? But like now, I can be hipster and be like, I liked him when he was in Washington. I'm like, Packers
at Houston.
Okay. All right, a Texan versus a Packer.
Okay, we did this last week and you messed up. Okay.
Yes,
I don't think this is the redemption game. Is this the game you want to go that the Texan, who is a literal soldier from an actual war,
no.
Beat a Packer? Because that's what you got to say if you go that route.
No. All right, I do. A 1-5 team versus a 4-1 team, John. Okay.
That's not the argument that you just put ahead.
No.
Texan or a Packer.
You didn't hear that. You didn't hear that.
Pick the Texan.
You didn't hear that. You misheard me. Okay. I was talking about how bad the Texans. What the fuck is wrong? What is wrong with the Texans? Everything's wrong with the Texans.
Everything except Deshaun Watson.
Right. Which, I don't know how true this was, but I read a report saying that every single one of the Texans wideouts is on the trading block. Or like,
if DeAndre Hopkins was on the trading block, I 100% believe everybody else was on the trading block.
Or is on the trading block because the trade deadline is coming, John. It's like next week so maybe not next episode, but the episode after that, it's definitely gonna be like, Dave McGee got traded. He got traded for a 5th. Wow, crazy. I don't know anybody that's on the trading block right now. That's why I just came up with Dave McGee.
Their two best receivers are Will Fuller and Randall Cobb.
Yes. And Brandon Cooks has been having really good games for some odd reason.
Oh, was he on the Texans?
Mm-hmm. That's how the Rams got like a second round pick or something. And like got rid of all his like cap money. The Texans took it. Yeah, and that's how the Texans ended up with the highest they're paying the most amount of money out of any NFL team this year. I think it's like $255 million, which is
they're one of the worst teams. That's not a good
right. Thing. That's not a good thing at all. They're spending the most amount of money to lose. Okay, I Packers. Like Packers redemption game. They'll shove it down the Texans' throat. That's what I'm going with.
I don't know. I think it's a good game.
Yes.
I think Deshaun Watson
is a good quarterback.
Still that good.
Yes.
Next up, we have Detroit.
Wait, did you pick the Texans or did you pick the Packers?
No, I picked the Packers.
Okay. Okay. All right. Falcons, Lions. Ooh. Oh.
3 or 1-5. Who you got?
All right. Do I want to admit Patricia is an okay coach, or do I want to draw this line in the sand and go, no, the Falcons aren't bad, which they are. So I can't realistically say that. The Lions?
They're not that bad.
They're not bad. They're like, if you look at their roster, you go, wow, this is a really good team. And then they go 1-5. John, tell me how that correlates.
Because
bad coaching.
We're overvaluing the players. Okay.
John, you know what? Actually, can I change my my Cowboys Washington pick?
No. Blocked your pick.
No. I forgot to mention this when we were talking about that. Reports came out of like Cowboys players going, what's his name? What's the head coach? McCarthy. Of him being a terrible head coach. Like no one likes him apparently, and I'm pretty sure McCarthy came out and was like I don't know how true any of this. I could just be making this up totally, but he was like, my only flaw is that I coach too much, and maybe I tell them too much, and maybe I should tone it down a little. It's like, I shouldn't be telling them every single, like, you know, it's like my biggest strength is my biggest weakness type of thing, where it's like, I'm too good of a coach where I can't coach them well enough. It's like, that makes zero sense, but okay.
Statement on the criticisms is contradictory. He goes, because all of it is anonymous, right?
Yeah.
So he says the anonymous part is something we don't want to recognize, but it's important to recognize anything and everything for a teachable moment.
Yeah. So I'm gonna pick the Washington team. I forgot about that completely. And if there's a mutiny happening in Dallas, I can't with a good conscience pick that team. Like after next week, it's either he's gone or there's like 10 players out of that organization. There's no in between in my mind. So I'm picking Washington. Which honestly, that's some good value if you're one of the players mutinizing against McCarthy. They're gonna trade you out for like a 6th round pick, but you don't have to be on the Cowboys anymore. So, you know, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Okay.
You didn't pick Detroit or Atlanta.
Yes. What do you think?
I'm picking Atlanta.
Really? Is it because of their stellar offense and you think this is their...
I think Calvin Ridley pops off this game.
See, do I think it's going to be an offensive battle? Yes. No. You think it's like he gets one touchdown and it's like, that's good enough?
I don't think there's a battle. I mean, you think the Lions are going to compete offensively with the Falcons?
But defensively, the Falcons have a bad defense, but the Lions have a good defense.
The Lions don't have a good defense.
They have an above average. They have a top 25 defense, John. Top 25. Okay, top 25. That's pretty good.
Have like a top 10 offense.
You know what, John? If Adam Gase can get a head coaching job with only having one top 25 offense in his coaching career, then this top 25 defense can stop a top 10 offense. Okay. You know what? Yeah, you're right. I don't know why I'm fighting so hard for the Lions. I just
you hate on them every week up to this, and now this week you're like, I want the Lions to win.
Because I don't know. You know what? Calvin Ridley pops off. Falcons. Yeah, let's go with that. I like that story. Because then
Pittsburgh at Tennessee.
Because then I can make fun of the Lions and I can petition for Patricia to get fired.
Has nothing to do with the fact that Calvin Ridley's on your fantasy team. Okay.
It's a complete hatred for Patricia. There's nothing else driving that decision. Calvin Ridley, he's been doing great. He's a great guy. He's been carrying this fantasy team. He's the only player that's consistently outperformed his prediction. Everybody else on my roster just decides to take an off week like every other week and get 2 points. Like, I don't understand how that works. Steelers, Titans. This is going to be a good game. I think this is like one of the best games of the week. That being said, I think this is when the Steelers lose and the Titans keep rolling.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. Bucks Raiders. This game, if it even happens, let's keep like the Raiders could like completely just devolve into COVID central, right? Because their entire offensive line is dead. So let's keep that in mind. The Bucks win if this game happens because
I think this is an interesting game because both these teams are coming off the biggest wins of their season.
Are they?
The Bucks blew out the Packers.
Oh yes, that's Raiders true. One of them
demolished the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know. This is a good game. I'm going to say that when the Raiders did have a bye week too last week, huh?
Yes, but COVID.
So they were able to coach, or they were able to even prepare better after a good win.
Yeah, but do you think their second string prepared as hard as their first string, John? They're gonna this game does happen. I don't think their starting offensive line comes back. Actually, they might because COVID goes away in 2 days, right? Like it doesn't exist.
I don't know if you got your days and weeks right, but
so yeah, at best it's their backup offensive linemen that are in. Which, granted, they're still good, and in the NFL, it's just
they haven't been in that scheme though. They haven't been running those plays, so they don't know what's going on. They just know they got to push the guy in front of them, make sure he doesn't get the guy that's behind him.
Which is all you need to know. All right, John, hit bad guy.
Yeah, I'll go Tampa then.
Yeah, Chiefs, Broncos, Chiefs. I 100% the Chiefs.
I said last week that the Broncos were going to beat the Patriots, and I was right. Okay, you didn't believe me. I said they're gonna make the playoffs. I said
I don't doubt you. Drew Lock back.
And then I said they were going to beat the Chiefs. Okay, because they do play the Chiefs again later, and I think they very well could split. They're on a hot roll right now. I'm going upset. I'm gonna say Denver, and if I'm wrong, I'm willing to take that L.
Okay, John, they're probably gonna do it now too. It's annoying. I'm sticking with the Chiefs. Okay, like I still think I do think the Broncos make the playoffs, but they're not winning against the Chiefs.
They have to beat the Chiefs at least once,
right?
And I don't think they do it later because the next game's in Arrowhead.
I think they win this game, or the Chiefs win this game.
Jaguars at the Chargers.
Chargers. Because
for me, this comes down to Justin Herbert versus Gardner Minshew.
Right.
And I don't really know who I trust more. Herbert hasn't won a game, has he?
No, but he's been playing really good, right? Like he's not the problem.
He's not the problem, but is the rest of this is the thing is, are either of these quarterbacks good enough to make
carry
up for everybody else on the team? And I trust Gardner Minshew more than I trust Justin Herbert, as much as I love both of these quarterbacks now.
Right. No, this one is tricky, right? What did you say? You like Herbert more?
No, I like Minshew more.
Minshew more.
Home games haven't been very relevant, but the Chargers tend to do better away.
Well, every game is an away game, John. So does it matter really? Does it?
I'm going Jaguars. You're going Chargers.
I want to pick the Jaguars, right? but at the same time, they are tanking. This game could be considered a tank bowl, right? It might not be.
I think this is a weird tank bowl because I think both these teams are tanking. I don't think either of these teams are tanking for a quarterback, though.
Right. They're tanking, but what are they tanking for?
I think they're tanking for capital. They want to get the top 2 picks and then trade out.
Right. Which in that case, they're going to... You know what? In tank bowls, the players aren't actively trying to lose. It's just the head coach trying to actively lose, right?
I think Doug Marone's a better loser than Anthony Lynn is. But that means Anthony Lynn's going to win.
Right. So by your logic, the Chargers have to win, yet you're picking the Jags, right? That's my thing. It's like the Jags are better losers, but do the Chargers win this game? Like win and
try so hard to lose, they win.
Right? Like do the Jaguars or do the Chargers play such good football that they lose? Right? Like
the Jaguars so poorly coached that they managed to win this game because they are trying to lose and they can't do it. Right?
Like who's better at tanking than the other team? But at the same time, it's like who's better at making the other team win? That's what the game is being played right here. So I
think a split is good here, honestly.
I think the Chargers
got both sides of the spectrum.
I think the Chargers win this game. I don't know.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Jags mess up their tank though, like at all. Patriots 49ers. Jimmy G is back. The Patriots are done with their COVID scandal, or they should be, right?
Yeah.
And they'll finally be able to practice fully. I think the Patriots win this game.
I agree 100%. I have absolutely no reason to give as to why the Niners would beat the Patriots in this game.
Okay.
Besides, I guess George Kittle, but
I think
Bill Belichick is such a good
coach. He'd block him.
That's like the only thing, and it's a maybe.
Right. Like he's 100% going to scheme and stop Kittle. Seahawks Cardinals. This is one of two things. One of two things in my mind are going to happen here. This is a really close game and a good game, but the Seahawks squeak out a win, or this is a blowout and the Seahawks absolutely destroy the Cardinals.
So you have the Seahawks either way.
Right. But in one scenario, the Cardinals make it a good game, but in the other, the Seahawks are just overpowering the Cardinals. Which I guess if the game is close, the Cardinals have a chance, right? But I just think the Seahawks are the better team.
I got Cardinals.
That's a complete just spite move, John. Which I mean, I understand.
I wrote down Cardinals before you even started talking, so you can't call it a spite move.
Which to be fair, this would be great for the rest of the division, right? Because you knock the Seahawks off their pedestal and open up the gate.
Barely, like.
Yes, it's instead of a 2-game lead, it's a 1-game lead. Okay. Okay. Wait, is this game home or away for the Rams?
This is a home game for the Rams.
They're winning. The Rams are winning this game.
If I really want to say the Bears, because I mean they're 5-1. How can you not say the Bears? But I think Sean McVay is a better coach, and I think he'll beat you, and Jared Goff can't.
Jared Goff.
But that's the thing, is I'm like, Jared Goff can't. On the other side, I trust Nick Foles more than I trust Jared Goff. Matt Nagy's a good coach, but he's not as good as Sean McVay. But that's just because they excel in different areas, I believe.
Yeah.
Actually, by my logic, I value defense more. I guess I would have Matt Nagy above Sean McVay, but
because Sean McVay doesn't do defense.
His system better, right? He gets his assistant coaches to do better than I think Matt Nagy gets his assistant coaches to do.
Right.
So I don't know. I want the Bears to win. I don't honestly see it happening. I mean, I don't see the Bears going 6-1. I really.
I don't either. I didn't see the Bears going 5-1, John, but yet we're here. Like this is genuinely. I wouldn't be like, I'd be so surprised if the Bears go 15-1, but at the same time, I'd be like,
I did not see it coming.
Right, like
didn't see coming has happened. So I don't know. This game,
I'm picking the Rams.
Would have thought the Bears going into this game would be maybe 1-1, 1-1, or I'd say they lose to the Lions 0-1, then they go 1-1, 0-2, or 1-2, 2-2, 2-3, 2-4. I'd say they'd be 2-4 going into this game, and clearly they're not. And so I don't know how good my judgment is with this team. I'm gonna go Rams because I would trust my judgment as best I can. But
and I think the Seahawks game is gonna happen. The Bucs game is the only game this week that's in jeopardy, I think. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good pick on the Rams, John. Good pick on the Rams. Is that? And the trade deadline's coming up, so we're gonna be seeing a lot of trades coming up soon. I think a lot of trades have happened. The Vikings, I think, are active. The Jets are on full fire sale mode because Adam Gase is gonna get fired, right? And the Jets are just trying to get rid of everything.
The
because
NFL trade deadline is on Election Day, Tuesday,
is
November
it?
3rd.
I thought it was the 29th.
Nope, it's Tuesday, November 3rd.
Oh.
Election Day.
Weird.
So the day we find out our president is when teams lock in, bro.
No, the 49ers traded for a DN off the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then Richard Sherman, I think, is coming back, isn't he? Oh, Richard Sherman's coming back. Does that change your pick at all, John?
No.
Oh wait, never mind. I misspoke. He's not coming back until like week 11. So.
Until after the trade deadline.
Yes. Is that
you got to go through the injury list and check, because last week Jimmy Garoppolo coming back would have changed my pick.
I don't know the 49ers. That list is so deep, John. I don't know. Okay. I think the 49ers have the most injuries in the league. Something like it.
I think the Eagles just beat them because back and the Eagles got more guys hurt.
Right, it's a competition. Who can get more hurt? It's one of the best competitions across the league. Which we didn't talk about this when it happened. I don't think, at least. But there's no Pro Bowl this year. Pro Bowl got canceled.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I have not talked about that.
No, the Pro Bowl is not going to happen, or at least not in the traditional sense. I think they're still going to do like the like they're still gonna do like dodgeball and we're gonna play catch, but there's no like game that's going to happen.
It's a joke, anyways. I'm not gonna miss it.
Right. Personally, I like the mini games they do before the actual Pro Bowl game more than
the game itself. I don't care.
The game is make it like a. I don't know, like a flag football game
is so much better in the NBA. The way they do that, I feel like they should.
Like a flag football game.
Copy and paste that formula.
A flag football game,
and then they should honestly just do it like a high school thing: flag football or flag football 7-on-7, and then have the lineman competition.
Right. That'd be nice. That'd be cool. That'd be a killer Pro Bowl. All right. Is that John? The World Series is tied 1-1 versus the Dodgers.
Yeah.
It didn't happen like you said it was going to happen. Did you say the Rays were going to go up 3-0 and then you lose the next 3 games?
I was joking. I said that last week. Okay, that wasn't part of my pick-up. I picked that the Dodgers would win. That's the only thing that mattered. Okay.
Yeah, it's tied. The Dodgers played.
Both these teams are so contradictory. They can't go up or go down. They both are going to go back to back to back. So who won the first game?
The Dodgers did. They started Kershaw.
Dodgers going to win it in 7. Let's go.
Yeah, the Dodgers started Kershaw game 1, and they completely destroyed the Rays. And then game 2, the Dodgers decided to do like a bullpen day where like every pitcher on their roster basically pitched an inning and lost like 6-4. It was close, but I feel
like that's the long run. They don't want Kershaw to be.
Well, Kershaw isn't the main star. Walker Buehler is the main star, and he's definitely gonna, I think he's going to start game 3, and then game 4, I don't know if it's Kershaw again.
Well, they don't want to tire out whoever the best one is. That's the way I'm taking this second game.
Right. Yeah, no, that's 100% what it was. It was like, we're going to have like a bullpen type day where we let the other pitchers take care of the major load. And even then, it's like they only pitched 1 inning, like each individual pitcher. So it's like they didn't really have that massive of a workload. So, and the Rays had like their number 2 pitcher out there. So it's like the bullpen versus the second best pitcher on the roster. What do you think is going to happen? Right.
In fact, they only won by 2. That's pretty good.
Pretty good. Baseball. Okay, I think we're sported out.
Baseball was a terrible place to end. I only care about Dodger dogs. I'm a real
Dodger dogs are good. I like Dodger dogs. All right. If you ever get the chance to eat a Dodger dog, you should, because they're tasty. Okay, that's a good place to end. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.